Hi there, I'm Martin. I want to introduce you to Mansfield House here, which is the headquarters of Shpresa here in the UK, the Shpresa program for Albanian speaking communities. Mansfield House and the organisation that founded it, the Mansfield Settlement, were linked to Oxford University, Mansfield College, and they, at the end of the 1800s, sent students to London to understand the poverty of the so-called working class and to launch charitable activities. And Mansfield House was actually built here later in the 1930s. There was quite a strong movement from the Oxford University and the other universities, and the Prime Minister at the end of the Second World War, Clement Attlee, was such a student at the beginning of the 19th century that came to London and started to understand the challenges for charitable activities. And one of his advisors, a gentleman called William Beveridge, who became Lord Beveridge, designed the UK welfare system that was introduced by Clement Attlee after the Second World War. So this provides an important legacy for the Shpresa program, because Mansfield House was, if you like, founded by major leaders of the country and gives them a fantastic legacy. Also, Mansfield House was combined with the Aston Charities Trust and other charities, so together they're now called the Aston Mansfield Charity. And one of the Aston Lawrence families that helped to found there was a very strong suffragette, pro-feminist lady in the beginning of the 19th century. So the fact there's this feminist legacy as well is interesting, because the three main leaders, you can say, of the Shpresa organisation are all women, which is encouraging for the future generation. So when I first came here in 2010, this is how I found the Shpresa program in its main office. It's not really changed a lot since then, except there's more awards and more certificates up on the walls, but it's always been very efficient. I've always been impressed by the way they display and organise their information, and this partly reflects the philosophy of Shpresa of consulting its members and its partners on a regular basis, both individually and collectively, and regularly carrying out consultations and reports and evaluations, often involving outside consultants, to see what everybody thinks and the way Shpresa should go. So it's all here, it's well documented, it's on their website, and reflects the way Shpresa engages with its membership and its wider constituency. So this is my little corner of the Shpresa building where I work. The Shpresa program's helped me to establish our own organisation, which is the Newham Partnership for Complementary Education. That's a sort of forum, a network of supplementary schools, also called complementary schools or part-time community-led schools. And Shpresa helped us right from the beginning. They've been a trustee of our organisation right from the beginning. And together we've run many programs. Some of the posters on the wall show the events that we've organised with other supplementary schools on themes like language learning, learning the home heritage language, strengthening maths, physics, science and English for GCSE. So one of the advantages of having Shpresa as a partner is that they have a lot of credibility in Newham and London as a whole, as an operator, not just in the supplementary school field, but also other parts of education, also with training, with research, for gender activities, for youth work, and campaigning and advocacy. So it's great to be able to show the association with the Shpresa program. Many people in Newham will know this statue, which features the players of the 1966 World Cup winners, which was England. The England team then had 3 players from nearby Berlin Stadium from the West Ham club, and it was this part of Newham where the founders of the Shpresa program first came as Kosovan refugees at the end of the 90s, and also refugees from Macedonia and Albania. And they came to this part of Newham, and they were looked after and supported by a church just a few meters down the road called Our Lady of Compassion. The church were very supportive, and the community appreciated that. And in fact, a local school that is linked to the church, they've sent several of their children there. So the children attended St Edward's Catholic School, also Vicarage Lane Primary School in East Ham, and also Star Lane Primary School in Canning Town. So this is very much a symbolic place where the Albanian-speaking community arrived in Newham, and also a logical point to end this particular introduction, because the statue represents values of the Shpresa program. The statue represents solidarity, it represents achievement, and represents aspiration. 3 very important values of the Shpresa program. So we're now at the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. This is where the 2012 London Olympic Games took place. You'll see in the background the Olympic Athletic Stadium, which is now the West Ham Football Stadium, and in the foreground the Mittal Tower, the orbit tower, which was one of the symbol of the Games, contributed by the Indian origin steel millionaire. And this also represents when our organisation, the Supplementary Schools in Newham, worked with Shpresa to produce some videos reflecting the different communities and schools we had in Newham. So we did 5 YouTubes, 2 Russian films for Russian speakers, 1 Tamil speaking, 1 Albanian speaking, and 1 French speaking. And these were reflecting the different communities in Newham, which is very multicultural. Newham has 84% of its residents are minority ethnic. So we were reflecting these different communities, the different cafes, the different hairdressers, the different food shops, and saying to the Olympic athletes and tourists, look, come and visit us in Newham, come and eat your Albanian bread in East Ham, or come and have your Tamil curry in Stratford, and come and enjoy Newham as a multicultural borough, one of the most multicultural in the UK. So this reflected also Shpresa's interest in projecting itself in terms of campaigning and engagement, taking pride in what it did in its communities. And these YouTubes were being beamed around the world. So that is something that we learned as the Supplementary School Network, how to project ourselves, how to look at film as another medium of communication, which young people increasingly naturally lean towards. So welcome to the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park.